running slime and flip upside down. I don't know.
I'm like, yes, black girl magic, let's do it.
New Big Brother All-Stars, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8/7 Central on CBS.
You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
Help us fight for life and train the CSRA. Contact the American Heart Association for details.
Follow News 1226 on Instagram to see what's trending in your area.
On your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
New York City preparing to honor the victims of the September 11 attacks, but this year's ceremony will look different. We'll show you.
And you remember this guy? Well, we have 8 more sightings of this invasive species of lizards. We're going to tell you where. But first this afternoon, day 1 in the books for Richmond County middle and high schoolers. The elementary students went back on Tuesday.
Sydney Heiberger went to see how things went for the older kids.
It's another first day of school here in Richmond County, this time for middle and high schoolers. The students here told me the new safety requirements are going to take some getting used to, but the incentives, they say, are well worth the price. High school seniors like Carissa Parker have had 12 first days of school, but nothing quite like this one.
It's going to be getting used to be honest.
Masks are required on buses and in the hallways. Social distancing is strictly enforced, and the hallways are one way only.
It's going to be a tedious process because it's new and we have to walk around the entire school instead of just doing what we usually do.
So far, the district says the safety measures in the elementary and K-8 schools have been going well.
It definitely seems cleaner. It smells cleaner, to be honest.
But officials say it might be a bit harder to get high schoolers to follow the rules.
We just got to make sure that with the older ones, the older students, they're not gathering up in one place.
Carissa says that's going to be hard, considering she hasn't seen her friends in 6 months.
I like hugging the people I miss, so it's going to definitely be hard.
But seniors like her have pretty good incentive.
I really want to do like the senior trip, Spirit Week, all that fun stuff we usually get to do. I just hope that doesn't get stopped because of that.
Well, right now, rules and enforcement is exactly the same for every school, but the district tells me if they notice high schoolers aren't following the guidelines, they may revisit their safety measures. Tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, why the stakes might be higher for high schoolers. Reporting in Augusta, Sydney Heiberger, on your side.
Thank you for that, Sydney. Let's take a live look at downtown Augusta, where the newest restaurant has officially opened its doors, and there it is. Edgar's above Broad. They're having their grand opening right now. They're on the 3rd floor of the Augusta University building right there at Broad Street and 7th.
It's the latest dining and entertainment concept from Edgar's Hospitality Group, which also manages the Pinnacle Club. We got to talk to the owners yesterday. They told us it's the biggest outdoor bar in Augusta, which serves as both a scenic space but also helps with social distancing, and it looks beautiful out there. Sign me up.
Yeah, it really does look nice. I like the way they have a covered part there as we zoom into that, and then as you pull out wider, you can see the outdoor space. So if you want some blue sky up ahead, above, you can choose your space, and plenty of room there for social distancing, which is always a factor these days. Not easy to open a new restaurant in a pandemic, but Riley, that looks like a nice place to spend the afternoon.
Hey, not too bad out there, Richard, especially for us here around Augusta. Not too many showers on radar this afternoon. There is one right near the Martintown exit off of I-20 here for North Augusta, just a very tiny little shower. That's pretty much the closest one to us here in Augusta. Any showers we've seen pop up today, they just don't last all too long. So if you do see rain today, shouldn't be a major issue, just lasts 5-10 minutes and then passes on by. Not any storms either out there this afternoon. Most of these are very manageable, just kind of light to moderate downpours. There's one just down Highway 25 south of Millen. We'll keep the chance for these over the next several hours, but by midnight tonight, most of us are expected to be dry. Have a look at your Friday and weekend in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Riley. New this afternoon, the GBI is investigating the death of an inmate at a local prison. The Richmond County coroner has identified the inmate as 34-year-old Ashley Asuncion. The coroner says she was transported from the Charles B. Webster Detention Center to the hospital around 1:30 this morning. She died there about 5 hours later.
The Richmond County school system canceling a football game because of confirmed COVID case with the T.W. Josie football program. The county canceling the T.W. Josie game versus Screven County. That was set for next week on the 18th.
They say the Josie High School football schedule will be modified following GHSA recommendations. Today was the first day of school for TW Josie High School. Those identified as close contacts received notification from school administrators to quarantine for 14 days and not go to school today.
Also today, the Trump administration went on to say that a dynamic plan consists of one that's always changing with the data and with the science. Checking the new COVID cases across the two states this afternoon in South Carolina, DHEC reports 264 new COVID cases today. Yesterday, the number of new cases was at 250. That was the lowest that number's been since May. 24 people have died. In Georgia, the state saw a little under 2,000 new cases today. The state also saw 24 more deaths.
Looking now at the latest case updates we have from our local hospitals, here's what we have. University Hospital reporting 27 new positive cases today. They now have 45 inpatients. Doctors Hospital reporting 1 new positive with 16 inpatients there. And Charlie Norwood VA is still sitting at 378 total cases.
One of our local hospitals is planning to add more than 100 new nurses to its staff. Doctors Hospital planning to hire 137 nurses over the next 4 months to grow their frontline team. They're looking to hire both full-time and part-time nurses. The hospital will host a hiring event for registered nurses next week. You do need to register online for that, and we have a link to do that on the website, wrdw.com.
The latest unemployment numbers coming in today in Georgia, new jobless claims were over 50,000. That's about 1,000 less than last week. In South Carolina, there were more than 5,000 new claims. That's a slight increase compared to the week before by about 100 claims.
On the national scale, new unemployment claims stayed roughly the same. The Labor Department reports another 884,000 people filed for unemployment last week. Meanwhile, 13.4 million Americans filed claims for unemployment insurance for at least 2 weeks in a row. Around 22 million people have lost their jobs since the coronavirus hit, and just half those positions have returned.
New York City will honor the victims of the September 11 attacks tomorrow, but the commemoration will look different than in previous years. The 9/11 Memorial Museum will have families of victims gather in person in the morning. The rest of the public will visit in the afternoon. Hand sanitizer stations will be added throughout the plaza, and instead of a live reading of victims' names, the museum will play a pre-recording and stream it online. The museum said even with the challenges, they knew a memorial still had to happen.
It is an unusual year, but what was never in doubt was whether we would commemorate. That was a given. This is about the community coming together and saying, this means something to us so profound. We must have it.
And the tribute and lights to illuminate where the Twin Towers stood will happen at dusk.
Here at home, there are several 9/11 remembrance ceremonies set for this year. Columbia County holding a ceremony at the Military Memorial behind the Evans Library. That will be live streamed over the county's Facebook page. Fort Gordon hosting a memorial service there that will include a ceremony and then taps. And the Augusta Fire Department hosting a virtual ceremony that you can see on their Facebook and Instagram pages. And we have the links to all these services on our website.
The Department of Homeland Security says all 50 states are now compliant with the Real ID requirement. The Real ID Act was passed 15 years ago, where it made security standards for state-issued driver's licenses and ID cards. Those standards include anti-counterfeit technology and more record checks. Starting next year in October, you'll need a Real ID when you go through the airport.
We all remember these things, the black and white tegu lizards. It's invasive, and we first told you about it last month after South Carolina DNR reported the first sighting in the state, and those sightings are on the rise. DNR confirming 8 more sightings since the first one last month.
5 of the sightings were in counties near Columbia, 2 were in Berkeley County near the coast, and 1 was near Greenville. The lizards found were between 2 and 3 feet long. DNR has gotten reports of the lizards in Aiken County, but nothing confirmed. Deadly fires spread from one state to 3. In one of those states, officials say more land has burned in a day than they normally see in a year. We'll take you there.
And we do have a few showers we're tracking on Doppler Max radar this afternoon. We'll take a look at that in your weekend forecast coming up.
Approve this message.
The latest video is just unreal from the West Coast. Nearly 100 major wildfires raging in almost a dozen western states, claiming at least 7 lives, wiping out whole towns in Oregon and Washington state. This is a look at the aftermath of one deadly wildfire that killed 3 people in Northern California.
Blazes in that state have burned more than 2 million acres and turned the skies orange as firefighters work to snuff out the flames. Chris Martinez reports from Yucaipa, California.
Aerial scenes above Oregon show the devastating effect of multiple wildfires burning in the state. From the ground, you can see homes, cars, and playgrounds reduced to ash in Phoenix, a town nearly wiped out by flames.
We were actually driving through fire for a little bit there. We could feel the heat coming into our vehicles.
For weeks, firefighters in the West have been battling a relentless siege of wildfires. Just north of Sacramento, the North Complex West Zone fire destroyed the community of Berry Creek and killed at least 3 people. A dozen others are missing.
I just want to know where the rest of my family is.
Crews down in San Bernardino County worked overnight to keep flames from inching closer to mountain communities.
We made a stand here for these 3 homes, which would have probably lit off the whole neighborhood.
Here in Yucaipa, California, firefighters are starting to get a handle on the El Dorado fire, but many people remain evacuated from their homes. This Red Cross volunteer has been helping dozens of families forced to flee.
They come in, get registered, COVID screened, and then we provide them any supplies that they need.
In Washington, where more acres burned in a single day than in a typical year, Governor Jay Inslee has been touring impacted areas.
This is an extraordinary series of events we have suffered. They are the result of catastrophically dangerous climatic systems.
Firefighters are hoping for some weather relief today in the form of cooler, less windy conditions before more heat returns to the West Coast this weekend.
And fires also forced people to evacuate in Idaho. Forecasters are predicting the wind to pick up in the Pacific Northwest and down to California early next week. That is not the forecast they need.
To weather now as we take a look over Bobby Jones Expressway. Looks beautiful out there. Riley, what can we expect as people are heading home?
Nice afternoon out there, Zana, and anybody heading out over the next couple hours. You should remain dry. We have a few showers out there this afternoon, but it's not all too widespread. The better rain activity is staying south of I-16 this afternoon. We are tracking a few little tiny showers out there, so can't rule out one of those passing by you the next couple of hours. But overall, your chance of seeing widespread rain is very low. This is the only little showers we're currently tracking across the metro. One right near the Martintown Road exit off I-20 near North Augusta, and then a little bit further south, a little bit better coverage of some downpours near Millen, south of 25, and then on the border of Burke and Emmanuel County. So through this evening, we'll likely see more of these kind of develop. Nothing all too large in size, fairly small, and if it does hit you, shouldn't last more than 5 to 10 minutes. All that rain should be coming to an end after midnight, and low temperature is going to remain pretty muggy again for us, generally in the mid-70s tomorrow morning. For your Friday, we're expecting a hot day back into the low 90s for high temperatures, which is above average for this time of year, and we'll likely see more of these scattered downpours develop later into the afternoon. Now, the good news about rain chances Friday is that those rain chances are expected to go down towards Friday evening. So if you're planning to head out to those Friday night football games, there's a chance for a few spotty showers right around kickoff, but later into those games, rain chances will be going down. So I think most games will be able to go on without too many problems out there, maybe just 1 or 2 see a quick little shower. If you have plans for the lake, though, that's when our pattern gets a little bit wetter, especially Saturday into Sunday. You could actually even see some showers develop before lunchtime on Saturday, so keep that in mind for any outdoor plans you may have. We're dry after midnight tonight. We're going to hang on to the clouds. Temps generally in the 70s for us early tomorrow morning. The rain chance is going to be highest Friday afternoon. As we head towards the evening, we'll hang on to some of these, but generally dying off after sunset. Heading into Saturday, you notice even Saturday morning, we have the chance for a few isolated showers, and as we continue to heat up throughout the day Saturday, that's when we're likely going to see a better coverage of showers and maybe even some thunderstorms producing some heavier rain for us, so keep that in mind for Saturday. Heading into next week, we finally see some break from the humid conditions. Later next week, waking up Wednesday and Thursday morning, we should be down in the mid-60s.
Sounds good, Riley. Thank you. Well, the kids love it, and maybe you even have the app, but there are some risks when it comes to TikTok. Well, you need to be watching out for it when we come back first at 5.
Criminals. Georgia United Victory paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The pandemic has been good for social media companies and their smartphone apps. Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube all reporting higher usage. and TikTok has become the most popular app for teenagers.
But as our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker shows us, the more time you spend using the app, the bigger the chance of seeing something disturbing.
TikTok is an endless stream of videos. Watch one and you're sure to scroll to the next one. A survey shows about half of all teenagers use the app and millions of adults. But the more time you spend on TikTok, the greater the chance you're going to see a video that you don't want to see. Here's why. TikTok has a For You tab. It uses an algorithm to place videos here that it thinks you'll like from your previous views, likes, and hashtags. And whenever you open the app, it automatically shows your For You feed. Now, sometimes vulgar or disturbing videos appear in the For You feed, and they play automatically. TikTok insists moderators are working constantly to remove videos that violate its policies against certain types of content, and will block users it finds uploading disturbing content. But the fact is, videos are posted live and will play on someone's feed before being reported and taken down. If you think your teenager or even you spend too much time on TikTok, the app has a setting where you can set limits on the amount of time that videos will play. Tap the three dots at the top of the app screen and select Digital Well-Being. There you can set time limits of 40 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes, or 2 hours. When that limit is reached, a passcode is required to keep the videos playing. Like other social media platforms, TikTok does have an age limit of 13, but obviously that doesn't keep someone from lying about their age. TikTok can be a lot of fun and spend a lot of time on it, but it can also be risky. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
I may need to use that time management feature because I know I can stay on there for a good 30 minutes at least.
Just like that, it goes away. But the company says the best thing for parents to do is just be aware of how your kids are using the app. But it will suck you in, and all of a sudden, yeah, you're right, it's been a half hour.
All right, two different ways for monitoring, and one of them actually could develop into a named system. We'll take a look at the tropics coming up.
Let's find your dream home today.
Let's take a look at your community calendar. How about an outdoor movie night with the family this weekend? That's happening at Evanstown Center Park on Saturday. Movie starts at 5:30. They haven't quite decided what movie yet, but you can show up early for games and giveaways. And the best part is, it is free. The only problem is you may have to watch out for some showers around that time frame, but keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll be dry. We are keeping an eye on a cluster of thunderstorms that has the potential to enter the Gulf of Mexico over the next couple of days, and conditions look favorable for it to possibly develop into a tropical depression over the next few days, and it is expected to maybe even make landfall close to the Gulf Coast of Louisiana and Mississippi. That is something we're going to keep a very close eye on. For us, keep the umbrella nearby the next few days.
Thanks, Riley. Many NFL fans wondered if there would even be a season this year, but now it's finally game day. We give you a sneak peek of what it'll look like here in 3 minutes. Stick with us.
Spending time on a special project at home. Laura Warren returns to News 12 and Your Home, Monday, September 14th on News 12 at 6 o'clock.